Word we throw around all the time, learning. But what if I told you that the way most of us think about it is actually holding us back? Yeah, getting this right isn't just for academics. It is the absolute key to unlocking your true potential. So let's dive in and really redefine what it means to learn.
So let me ask you something, point blank. What does it actually mean to learn something? I mean, we say things like, I'm learning a new skill, or I learned my lesson, but what's really going on there? The truth is, if you press most people for an answer, it gets a little fuzzy.
And here's why that fuzziness is a huge deal. That blurry, kind of vague definition we all carry around, it's a silent roadblock. Seriously, think about it. If you don't have a crystal clear target, how in the world can you ever hope to hit it? This is what's stopping so many of us from making real, tangible progress.
Okay, so let's dig into our first big idea here, why meaning drives results. And I want to be clear, this isn't just about playing with words. The definitions we hold deep in our minds, they are the starting point for pretty much every single outcome we get in life.
Because, you see, the meaning we give an idea is never just a thought. It kicks off this powerful chain reaction, one that has very real, very tangible consequences in our work, our studies, and our day-to-day lives.
So here's exactly how that chain reaction works. It all starts with meaning. The definition you have in your head for something directly drives your behavior, what you actually do, day in and day out. And those behaviors, when you repeat them over and over, are what create your results. So a blurry meaning? That leads to inconsistent behavior. And yet, you guessed it, disappointing results.
So if our old definition is the roadblock, how do we clear the path forward? Well, we need a new definition. We need one that is sharp, that's actionable, and that's powerful enough to actually drive real change. Let's totally reframe this concept.
Now, just take a second and let that one sink in. Learning is the process of changing. It's not about passively collecting facts. It's an active transformation in what we know, how we think, and, this is the big one, how we act.
So here's the absolute heart of it. If we had to boil that entire powerful definition down to its essential core, it would be these 4 words: the process of active change. That is the new meaning. That's our target now.
And this is the fundamental shift in thinking. You know, you can read a book, highlight some passages, and put it on a shelf. You can memorize a bunch of facts for a test. But if nothing has changed about your understanding or your actions, have you really learned anything? According to this new definition, the answer is a hard no.
And this idea of change isn't some big mystery. It happens in really concrete ways. We change by gaining new knowledge, sure, but also by acquiring new practical skills. And maybe most importantly, by developing entirely new ways of thinking. And how do we do that? Through deliberate actions, like really studying, practicing until it becomes second nature, and even just watching how other people do it successfully. Which brings us to the most important part of all of this, how you can grow. See, this new definition, it isn't just a cool theory, it's a practical tool. It is a framework you can start using right now to consciously and deliberately engineer your own growth.
I want you to think about it this way. Every time you come across a new idea, or you get a piece of feedback, or you have a new experience, you're at a crossroads. You have a choice. You can see it as an opportunity to adjust what you know and to improve how you do things. That right there is learning in action. That is how you get better.
So let's wrap this all up with the single most important takeaway, the one thing to burn into your brain. Stop thinking of learning as a destination, some point where you finally know something. Instead, I want you to embrace it for what it truly is, the active, ongoing, and incredibly powerful process of changing.
And that brings us right to the end, with the most important question of all, the one I have for you. Now that you're armed with this new understanding of learning as active change, just take a moment and really think. What is the first thing you're going to choose to change?